حتى تعانق دمعة الفكر، تناجي الله في صبر وترجو رحمة تسري، فعاش القلب إخلاصا وصرت تحوم كالطير، تحلق في ثقافات وتنهل من ربى الخير.
Yeah, please.
There seems to be an unspoken assumption in your arguments to do with the source of complexity. So can you describe, in your mind, what are the... or is there just one ever source of complexity, or can there be different kinds of sources of complexity?
What I'm trying to say, what you mean by
Andy?
And I'm Ali, yeah?
Ali? Yeah, nice.
Okay, Andy, so what I'm trying to say is, let's use our simple reasoning, simple understanding to come to a certain basic conclusion, yeah? Now, if you go home and a plate is smashed on the floor, what are the first 2 or 3 or 1 conclusions that you will come up with when you see your plate smashed on the floor?
Right, you might be answering my question in a roundabout way, but I was hoping you'd get to it a bit more directly.
No,
I was, if I could use the example, for example, of
Too many examples.
I'm only going to do one. We take a drop of water.
So I use the snowflake and an ice cube. But use that.
You've been round this, Luke.
You can.
Maybe you can explain it in a way he'll understand. I don't know.
I think we'd all agree that a snowflake is more complex than a drop of water. Now, one measure that can be used within physics and mathematics
when you give those
is the amount of, if you're designing a software program to describe it, a drop of water is quite simply described. A snowflake, rather more elaborate program because there's a lot of details. So therefore, we have an example of. It is one of the definitions of complexity. How many lines of code would you need to? I think something. So there's an example. But I think we know from physics how snowflakes form. There doesn't seem to be any room within that model for anything else. We know, given the properties of molecules of water.
Yes, but Andy, you're missing the point. You're saying we know by physics how the snowflake forms.
Yeah.
You're explaining the how it works. This is how it works.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, why does it work like that?
But that's not a valid question.
It's a very valid question because you're explaining the how.
You've now
it
moved on.
Like
You've moved on because you introduced an example. This is where I came in, and I understood it to you produce a mobile phone. And that's another interesting thing, because in your conversation with Rob, you were quite adamant that any human being ever would identify that as an artefact. Now, I don't know if that's true at all. There's a kind of difference between cultures here. We could probably encounter artefacts produced by other cultures that we're not quite sure whether they're natural or man-made. And I'm sure with a bit of thought, you could. Archaeologists would probably tell you all the time there's something here. I'm not entirely sure what it is. You know, it could be. In fact, I remember reading one to come to mind where this lovely piece of stone was found, and it was assumed to be a tool or something, but it was just a brick. It's just an eroded brick. So there's sometimes doubt about whether something's designed. But interesting, you're very adamant that somebody who's never contacted. You see, this is an interesting thing. We live in a bubble, if you like, of Western technology. So we know. I mean, there's no. It seems obvious to us that the smartphone is man-made, and as Rob was saying, there's an awful lot of background.
How do you know it's man-made?
Because there's an awful lot of background where we distinguish between the background of the culture that we live in.
Not culture. So, what's the background of the phone that you think is designed? What makes you think this is designed?
Well, I've just told you that there's the cultural background of knowing that certain things are natural and certain things are not. Now, I can't say whether somebody totally without that background, who never encountered the products of technology, who lived in a society, maybe hunter-gatherer, maybe one of the earlier human societies where they don't even really use sophisticated tools. Now, if they came across that, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure if they would regard it. It could be either they would, in agreement with you, say it's man-made, or they might assume it's another natural object, or they might assume it's something from the gods. That's probably more likely. It depends.
Yeah, I understand, but they will not deny.
We don't know.
That
the point is we don't know. But fairly central to your argument, and I hear it a lot, the smartphone universe.
Yes.
Now the next question is, now you're using the argument by analogy here, so we need to understand how analogies work. Yeah. So.
Can we first understand how simple reasoning works?
Well, that's what I was going to do, because you're using the reasoning by analogy, so we need to understand how analogies work.
I understand what you're saying, but the person who
Tell me how analogies work.
For example, 102 years, a person who doesn't know nothing about technology, if he comes across this, he will not believe it came from nothing. Neither will he believe it came by chance. Yeah, because he will.
You're claiming a lot.
No, not claiming. Look. I'm telling you, he will look at simple reasoning.
This is you entering into the mind of somebody who's never encountered technology.
Let's go back to your house and the plate that's smashed on the floor, yeah? Okay, this plate is very important to
We're going back to the plate, all right.
When you see a plate smashed on the floor in your house, what is the simple reasoning you come with? Do you think a blue dragon flew through your house and dropped that plate on the floor?
A blue dragon flew through the house.
Would you say that?
Well, technically, I can't exclude that possibility.
That's the problem.
I wasn't there when it happened.
See how crazy that sounds?
I will use my knowledge of the world
and come to that blue dragon flew through your house.
No. What conclusion
but
can
Andy,
I come to? It could have been a minor earthquake. It could have been a burglar.
That's fine.
It could have been badly positioned when I did the washing up. All sorts of things.
Okay, good. See those 3 points. What you just said there. Yeah, forget the blue dragon. That sounded a bit crazy. Yeah, but I'm sorry. Yeah, but the fact that you said earthquake, the fact that you said earthquake. Yeah. Maybe, for example, I left in a slippery place.
Yeah, I do that.
Good reasoning. It's simple reasoning. Maybe you had a pet in the house, which
pet.
Might have caused it to drop. But you will never ever come to the conclusion that that plate flew off on its own and fell. Would you ever come to that conclusion?
No.
Okay.
Of itself.
Thank you. So this is what I'm trying to say.
Forces working on
that's what I'm trying to say. Let's use our simple reasoning. We're using our simple reasoning. Good. A plate would not fly on its own and smash on the floor. Okay. So what we say is there's a cause and effect. Yeah. So what I say is now, let's go to, for example, let's say if I had a tissue in my left hand and a mobile phone in my right. Yeah. If I said to you, you have to pick one, not two. You have to pick one of these. Which one? The tissue and the phone. The tissue and the phone. No, but my point with the leaf is we're going to find the one who created the leaf. We're going to find the one who created the leaf. Yeah.
No. Say this is qualities and this is the same qualities.
Yes.
And you have to show.
No, I understand. But what you're coming with, if I'm not assuming, is where you're coming with is that's natural. And I'm saying to you, who said to you it's natural? You're claiming it's just randomly happening, and I'm trying to prove to you now it randomly didn't happen.
You're saying it's design.
Yes, but let me tell you why. Let's come to the tissue and mobile phone. You have to pick one. Which one would you go with? Which one is more complex in design? You have to pick one.
The tissue complex isn't an issue.
No,
bless you.
Awkward now.
You have to bless. He needs a little
waiting for that.
He needs a little blessing after saying the tissue is more complex than a mobile phone.
No, he said a tissue. You know.
Yeah, he said the tissue is more complex than a mobile phone. Which one?
Sorry, which was more complex?
Tissue or the mobile phone? Do you really need that time to think? Come on, man.
What's our measure of complexity?
Yes.
What is? What is?
No, see,
what is?
You know what's happening now? We've took simple reasoning out and gone complex now. I'm just saying simple reasoning, mobile phone or tissue.
What is our measure of complexity?
Ali, you can't keep saying simple reasoning as your defence when people ask you a question.
No, we are because...
No, wait a minute. I'll follow this. No, I'll follow this. No,
1 second. Why? See, there you go. Why did he jump to phone? Why are you going complex? This is my point.
Let me follow this, because this is an important point. Hang on.
Why did you go for the phone, sir?
It contains more parts. There's more.
Thank you. Simple reasoning. Simple.
I understand what you're saying about what's the measure of complexity.
I introduced a measure before, which is the amount of
But I want to make my point.
The object.
I want to make my point.
In fact, a mobile phone is very regular. If you look at the circuitry,
it's not regular.
You don't. Yes, it is. If you look at the microchip inside it, all you need to do is define one transistor and say that's repeated a million times.
1 second.
Right, a tissue.
1 second, sir. Let's get this right.
At the microscopic level, there's a kind of structure there.
Look, Andy.
Yeah.
Which one? Look at me. I'm getting visual now.
Which one is more positions here, have we?
But you won't let me ask what is your measure of complexity.
Why did he not ask me that? When I said to him which one is
because he's using a natural language, and I will say the phone as well.
Andy, simple reasoning, yeah? There's two things happen here.
You're being too simple with your reasoning.
Yes, very
Why
much
do you have to be complex?
Because it's a very complex issue. Why do we have philosophers? They spend thousands of years discussing these things. I mean,
good on them. Like, I respect them for
if they were all like you, Athens, 500 years BC, they were sitting around, Plato, Aristotle, they said, oh, it's all simple, isn't it?
But you need to explain to him the analogy, because he doesn't get the analogy part.
Which analogy?
When you were going to explain to him the logic of analogy.
I was trying to, but he wants to go off on his phones. So I'll play the game, so that the phone, carry on.
No, you're not playing a game, you're using simple reasoning there. It's not a game.
What I've noticed is that if I try and introduce subtlety and complexity into these arguments, your voice will get louder and you'll start saying, use simple reasoning. And I'm simply trying to say that actually it's quite nuanced. There's a lot of complexity in here. How we use language, how we use analogies, what is the nature of reasoning, all these sort of things. Now, if you were to stand there just insisting that we use your conception of reasoning, I can't really go anywhere. So the only way we can go anywhere if I agree Now you go on for something else.
Andy, are you
No,
married?
I'm not.
I'm just asking a question. If you are married, you came home and you saw that plate of smash on the floor, and you said to your wife, "Hold on a second, wait," and your wife said, "You know what? Probably the cat did it." And he's like, "No, let's not go simple. Let's get complex. Let's get complex." Your wife will slap you. Like, no offense, yeah. She might say, "What the hell's wrong with you? The plate just smashed on the floor."
Don't worry.
But no, because you know why? Because your wife will say, "Why are you going complex? Why don't you go complex?" Like, hold on a second. Let's make an investigation here. What caused the plate to drop? Now you're gonna say something caused it. Earthquake, cat, slippery. Place where I put it. Some reasoning. You're not going to go complex. So I'm asking you, why don't you use the same here? You said the mobile phone, yeah? I put the mobile phone on my left hand and the universe on my right. The same question, yeah? And before I go to that question, have you seen this mobile phone being made? In the factory?
I've seen videos of how they're made. I was in computer science for 30 years. I have a
So you're
fairly good
intelligent man.
appreciation, even though the technology is way ahead of mainframes that I used to work on.
Okay.
Fundamentally, they're the same thing.
If you did not see that video or go to the factory, would you deny that this is designed?
This goes back to the argument I was trying to make before. Because I'm a member of a culture that, I grew up in an age of TVs, wirelesses, motor cars and that sort of thing. I can confidently say, even if I've never seen anything like that before, I would confidently say that's man-made.
That's man-made.
No two ways about it. Because I'm from the culture that I'm from.
Thank you very much.
That's as far as I can say.
You would say it's man-made even if you did not go to the factory and saw it being made. You would come to that. Thank you. Simple reasoning.
Well, you're ignoring how
just bypasses
I'm not bypassing. What let people decide? Mobile phone in the universe. Which one is more complex?
Well, I first asked what is my measure of complexity here, but I think easy enough on any reasonable measure of complexity. I suppose you'd have to say the universe because it contains the mobile phones for one thing.
Yes, one of it has a complex thing within a complex universe. Okay, so this is exactly my point, which I don't understand. You guys are saying I'm missing what? You guys are missing the link here. The fact that you came to that simple conclusion with a simple reasoning shows me why I believe there's a high intelligence being out there. Because if you cannot deny a phone, which you said to me, if you did not go to the factory and see it get made, you will still believe it's made by men, yeah? So how could you come to me?
How many men make the mobile phone?
500, let's say.
Okay, so let's say, using your analogy, 500 men make the universe.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
Why? But you did not want to discuss the nature of analogies. I'm going with that.
Exactly.
I should use your simple reasoning. Your simple reasoning is 500 men made the mobile phone.
Okay.
Using your simple reasoning, 500 men made the universe. QED. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly,
where are we? Well, to worship.
Or multiple gods. Whatever.
500 gods.
See, that's the thing.
So you're a polytheist, I take
I'm not a
it.
polytheist. I'm a monotheist.
There's no proof that one god made it. We know from a mobile phone it takes committees of designers, it takes all sorts of people with different skills and so on. The universe, as we both agree, is more complex than a mobile phone. Therefore, there must be committees of people for trees, for the Norwegian fjords, for galaxies, all sorts of things. Sorry, not people, gods. I mean, I can imagine a whole pantheon of gods specialising in earth, wind and fire and all sorts of things.
So what we've come now is...
There you go. I'm happy to live with gods as long as there's a pantheon.
You know what's happened now? Now we have come to the conclusion there is design behind the universe.
Now the problem is... I'm just following your track.
Sir,
you'll have to demolish the idea of a pantheon of gods.
Thank you.
Because you're a monotheist.
This is very good. So what we've done now is we have established that there is a designer.
I'm not agreeing that there's a designer, by the way, at all.
This is the problem here. Why are you so afraid that be the creator? What can I say?
Nobody's scared of it.
It was a muffin, a chocolate muffin.
You're misrepresenting. I'm not scared of it at all.
Andy, you said that there must be these 500 gods, meaning that you have come to the conclusion with me that there is a designer, but you believe that design has to be 500 gods.
He's using your analogy, Andy.
I'm not entirely serious.
I know, but he's using my analogy to come to a conclusion that there is design behind the universe, and that design has to be 500 gods. The way I said 500 individuals to make the phone. Now that we have come to the point where we agree that there's design, I have to prove to you why there is one God but not 500.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So we have understood, not for the sake of the argument, that there is design behind the universe.
For the sake of argument.
No, you can't, sir. How did you come to that conclusion?
Because you...
No.
It's frustrating.
Of course it's frustrating.
No, can I stop you there?
Okay.
Can I stop you there?
Listen to him.
Please, no,
Ali,
listen to me.
do you come here to learn or do you come here to talk? That's your favourite question.
No, I want to learn.
So I want, okay.
Rob, look, you know I'm not like arrogant. I'm not here to
Well,
say I know
sometimes
all.
you sound like it.
No.
But now listen, keep quiet, let him talk.
I'm not here saying I know.
Every so often you have to stop and let the other speak, especially when they're waving their arms around. No, I just want to make the point that the spirit in which I mentioned, the 500 creators and so on, was not as a representation of my belief. I was simply from the point of view of, you might call it reductio ad absurdum, taking your whole line of reasoning and showing where it could lead. I'm not suggesting for one moment that my belief is that there are 500 or so, or many gods, or indeed that there is such a thing as design. I haven't conceded that at all. So you were then, afterwards, you went off in a bit, and then you came back saying, I had conceded that. I just want to make clear, I haven't at all. No.
Okay.
Anyway, carry on.
All right, okay. So, I will tell you why you have. I'll tell you why you have, yeah?
I think I know whether I
Why I believe you have.
Why you think
We looked at the mobile phone.
Yeah.
We said if you did not go to the factory, you will still believe it's designed. Because of there's complexity behind it, yeah? There must be a designer behind it. I said to you, which is more complex? You put your hands up that there must be a designer with a mobile phone. I said the mobile phone in the universe. You said the universe is more complex. If you can come to a conclusion of a designer of a mere object like a mobile phone, which is designed as complexity, when you said the universe is more complex because it has the iPhone inside as well, one of the reasons, I have to come to the conclusion that you have to understand or accept that there must be a designer behind the universe. Otherwise, you have to reject the mobile phone. Why are you accepting the mobile phone?
Ali, why didn't you listen to the reasons he told you that it was designed? Listen to the reasons.
I don't believe you really understood anything else.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, what more can I say?
How about
Who's
you?
the next?
How about no, Andy, please, Andy. It's very simple, yeah. Why is there no designer behind the universe when it's more complex than the phone? Explain that.
You don't know what my position is. My position is that it's beyond our understanding.
That doesn't
so
mean...
therefore we can't
But Andy, that doesn't
definitively say
Andy,
whether or not
saying...
there's some entity or something or other that lies behind.
No problem. I'm saying let's come to common agreement that is there an entity behind it. You're saying 500, 2 million, 5 million, 1, but is there?
I'm saying we don't know. And possibly in principle we cannot know.
I respect that. All right, you're saying we don't know, but then again, I've given you reasons and arguments to come to an understanding that there must be a designer.
I'm afraid
because you're saying I don't know.
They're very poor arguments.
That's what I've tried to say.
That's the
if
thing.
you don't read the literature, I suggest you start with David Hume.
I don't understand, but let's start off with
slightly awkward English because he was 18th century. He sets out the arguments against all these design arguments.
Andy, that doesn't prove anything to me. You're telling me I don't know, therefore I reject God. Like, can you imagine?
Did I say I reject God?
Okay, let me tell you something. For example, just because you don't know doesn't mean there is not a designer behind it. For example, do you think, I'll give you an example, do you think in the rainforest a tree fell right as we're speaking?
But on the basis of one's...
Like a possibility.
Wait a minute. On the basis of one's fairly skimpy knowledge of biology, rainforests and probability, I'd say in the interval of, and the size of the Amazon basin, I'd say in a decent interval of 1 minute, I'd say there's a pretty good chance of a tree falling. Okay. Not certainty.
Possibility. You observed the tree being fell, and did you hear the tree being fell? Falling?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Just because you did not know doesn't mean the tree didn't fall. So just the way you're saying, I don't know, doesn't mean that this God or a designer doesn't exist.
That's pretty much my position, yes.
Yes, but do you understand my position? Just because you don't know...
No, I don't.
Just because you don't know doesn't mean it does not exist.
No, your position...
Did you get my point? Did you guys understand my point, by the way?
Stop talking and let him speak.
No, I am. I'm just trying to... Go on, I'll let him speak. Come on, I'm being fair, bro. You can't put that on me like that. I'm listening to him as well. Go on.
You were doing...
I'm listening.
Going to the audience.
No, but sometimes you need audience, call a friend, ask the audience. Yeah.
Stick with one person. He's trying to teach you something about you.
That's my train of thought.
No, go
what
to...
What did you last say?
Okay, sorry. I said basically, because you said, look, I don't know, meaning maybe not, yeah? You're saying, I don't know, there might be a designer or not. I'm saying, just because you don't know does not mean that a creator doesn't exist. Just because you're not aware. Thank you. So the best possible explanation that we could come to, with simple reasoning, like the plate, is that there is a designer.
Right. Okay. So I have to say, based on my my intellect and my reading of these various arguments, is that with respect, your arguing is full of gaps, and I know you like to say keep it simple and so on, but unfortunately it's inherently complex, and that's why philosophers even today go on and on and on about these sorts of things, because somebody always finds a different angle on these things. So in other words, there's no certainty. So I have no problem at all with you. I mean, and you will find good thinkers, good philosophers defending teleological arguments. They do. It's not a problem. Rob and I, perhaps, and John and others will take an opposite position. So that mere fact that we can stand here, or they can sit in their studies in Oxford and Cambridge, chewing these over, suggests it's not like an empirical science, for example, where you establish that the Earth goes around the Sun and everybody agrees with it apart from a few nutters. There's certain facts. Now, this design or not is not one of those facts that can be deduced. Now, maybe in the future, the cosmologists will come back to us and say, look, we have a really good think about this, and to tell you the truth, there's only one answer: God did it. At the moment, it's nothing like that. There's nothing like that position at all. So we're trying to use principles from pure reason, if you like, and analogies. Now I wanted to get back to what.
When you mean there's sorry to cut. You know when you said there's nothing, no reasoning like that to suggest it's a creator. There is many scientists out there who are theists. So for you to say there isn't, you're just saying all the scientists. You're making it seem like every scientist is an atheist. No, they're not. Most of them, they find God. I'm just not about you.
Please listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry.
When I mentioned cosmologists, that's a specific area. Yeah. One of the specific areas that talk about origins and the nature of the universe in its entirety. Yeah. And there will be some theistic cosmologists. I've never done a sample. I don't know. But I suspect a lot of them are agnostic. But they will. Some of them will take, for example, evidence like the Big Bang as being arguments in favour of there being a God. Others not. They'll have a different conception. But I don't think there's any sort of consensus within the field at the moment, such as there is, say, in basic astronomy, that says the Earth goes around the Sun. I mean, you'd have to be a complete fool to disagree with that one. So in other words, what I'm pointing to is areas of disagreement. Now, why is that the case? Why are there these areas of disagreement? Because in other areas of science where there's good observational evidence, like the Earth going around the Sun, you make predictions, the predictions come true, and everybody agrees that's the best model. It's not the case with cosmology or biology, say. That's another area, because you might claim that it needs God to feed life into dead matter. Well, again, that's an area of active research. We don't know yet. And there are huge advances being made on early life that suggest that it is perfectly feasible for life to arise from inner matter, but we don't know yet. So I think we're kind of jumping the gun. There may or may not come a time in the future where the body of scientists, cosmologists, if every cosmologist on the planet says, look, after all this thinking we've been doing for 200 years since Einstein, we all agree that there must have been a God. If they all say that, so you I will probably go with the general,
so you need 200 scientists. It may be a deist. But this is like, it's like you're making it seem in 200 years, you're making these scientists like your prophets. It's like they're your prophets. It's like a religion. You know why? Because you're saying if they come and affirm to me, I'm saying because the reason why you're deifying them, it's like you've made them a god. Because you know why? You're relying on them and saying, hey, if they come to me and say to me that there is a God, then I'll be like, okay. I'm saying, why do you need a group of scientists which they
don't need experts?
No. We do need experts.
Next time you go to the dentist, don't need an expert.
I'm not saying. In Islam, we believe and we respect scientists who do their job. They tell us how things work. Yeah. Not when it suits me. Yeah. Not when it suits me. We respect them. Yeah. Because they're doing the job. But like Allah says in the Quran, don't you ponder upon my creation. So scientists who go and ponder and tell us how things work, we appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate. But if they come and say, oh, this came by chance or nothing, I'll say I respect you, but I don't agree with you. There's the same reason I'm doing that. I'm not going to say, hey, let me chop your head off. Yeah. So one second. What you did, Andy, was you start telling me things which went off on a tangent because I was telling you, I understood where you come from. You spoke about a lot of things and you're telling me about this different opinions, blah, 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 within scientists. But my main crux of the thing is that the universe, right? I'm talking about the universe. Give me the best explanation for the universe, just like you did with a plate smashed on the floor. What is the best explanation of the universe being designed? Since we've come to the conclusion with the phones, what is it? No. What is it? No, but you've done that with the plate. With the plate, you said, look, you said earthquake, blah, 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 this, that. I'm saying simple reasoning, the complexity we talked about and the design behind the universe. What is the best possible explanation that you can come up with?
Me?
Yes, you.
I'm not a cosmologist.
You don't need to.
All I can do.
Am I a cosmologist?
Is just repeat to you what I've seen on YouTube and read in the
No. I'm talking to Andy. I'm not talking to the scientists behind you. Andy, simple reasoning. Look, the plate, yeah, just the universe is here. It works. The universe works, right? Okay.
To analogy.
No, we are. But you see, I'm trying to make a point here. But why are you jumping somewhere else? I'll listen to your analogy. But let's address this topic first. Give me the best explanation for the universe.
Why did you introduce the plate into your request for me to talk about
because with a simple plate, you come to simple conclusions.
Yeah.
With the universe, which is more complex than that plate, and is here and it's working, what is your best explanation?
We should have a simple conclusion.
Why does our plate?
Yeah, simple conclusion.
That's why you need to explain to him why the analogy is a problem, because he's using the analogy incorrectly and thinking, oh well, the two of them are just so simple.
You keep saying incorrectly, but you don't answer my question.
So I've asked the question. You'll have to tell me why considering a plate has any relevance whatsoever with considering the origins or otherwise of the universe.
Because
what's the linkage?
Because if the universe, there's cause and effect, right? If the universe, yes, everything that has a cause, there's an effect. Yeah.
Everything.
Yes, everything that has started, everything that has started to exist has a cause behind it, right?
How would you characterize the universe? What would you say?
What do you mean how?
What is it?
It's a universe. What do you want to say?
Okay.
Well, it's no, I don't know. I never said to you I know everything. I'm using no, because I in my understanding I have simple reasoning here with the universe. It either came from nothing, it either created itself, or it was created. Is there any other option that you can put in here? I can't come to anything else. With a plate falling, earthquake, cat, whatever. Simple. I would not say a blue dragon flew through my house and tipped it over. So with the universe, either came from nothing, it either created itself, or it's created.
Or it's always been there.
Huh?
What about it's always been there?
No, how? Where's the evidence to that? Where's the evidence to that?
No, but you just said three.
No. But where's the evidence to that? Because if something is there, look, infinite in the real world doesn't exist. If I said I have an infinite amount of bananas and I took one banana out, how many bananas do I have? It doesn't exist in the real world.
It doesn't. First it's like plates. Now it looks like bananas. It's also like
exactly.
a phone.
Exactly.
You seem to have some very strange about ideas.
Yes.
Next you're going to say it stands on top of a pile of tortoise.
Not really. I never said that. I never said the banana created the universe. I'm giving you an example.
Wrong analogy.
Not wrong.
You don't want to.
Yeah, but you keep saying. Yeah, but the thing is, Andy, you and Rob keep saying it's wrong. I'm like addressing my address.
What we're saying is wrong is the analogy is wrong.
If the analogy is wrong, why don't you?
You might be a creator, but the analogy you're using is wrong.
Listen. If it's wrong, then why do you not address it?
He's addressed it.
No, you're not. I said to you, okay, look, he said to me, let's suppose that there is 500 gods. Why? Why did you suppose?
Because that was your analogy.
No. Why did he not say to me, you know what, there can't be a universe, and there can't be a designer. The reason why it can't be a designer, bang. Tell me.
Because you are using the analogy, so we're going with your analogy.
Refute my analogy. Say to me, Ali, it's wrong. Why?
I don't want to say there can't be a designer. I thought I made that clear. I'm agnostic about this.
Okay. So you're agnostic.
I'm saying that we don't know enough at the moment.
Okay.
To say whether or not there is.
So you're an agnostic. You don't know. He's different to him. Rob says.
We have a different take.
Okay.
What do I say?
Apparently not so different.
As far as I know, you don't believe there's enough evidence to assume that there's a designer.
Correct.
Yes.
And so do I agree with that.
How are you agnostic?
Because I do not produce arguments to claim to prove there is no God.
But Andy, I've given you an argument.
I will not give you arguments to disprove.
But Andy, I've given you an argument which we haven't moved on to. So I've given you mobile phone, the universe. Tell me why the universe is not designed.
Shoot,